Have you ever considered how we master incredibly complex, high-stakes skills without putting everything on the line?
Hmm.
It's a real challenge, right? Whether you're learning to fly a jumbo jet or, like we're talking about today, navigate a massive 40-ton truck.
Yeah, through unpredictable traffic, no less.
Exactly. Traditionally, that meant a lot of, well, on-the-job training with all the risks that come with it.
Right, inherent risks.
But what if you could replicate that real-world experience, mistakes and all, but in a completely safe, um, controlled place?
Like a flight simulator, you mean?
Precisely. Imagine that kind of tech, but for every new truck driver hitting the road.
Yeah.
That's really the promise of virtual reality, VR, simulators today.
It's a powerful idea.
And look, this isn't about replacing people. It's about making them better, boosting skills. It's this interesting human-machine partnership idea.
Elevating skills, yeah.
So for our deep dive today, the big question we really need to tackle is this. Are these VR training simulators genuinely worth it, long term, for the trucking fleets and for the new drivers?
That really is the perfect question to frame this, especially for an industry like commercial transport, where everything hinges on safety and efficiency.
Absolutely.
I mean, the old way of training truckers, it worked, sort of, but it was always limited by the very real dangers and the costs of practicing in the real world.
Yeah.
So what's fascinating here is how VR isn't just a small step up. It feels like it could be a revolutionary shift in how we even think about developing proficiency.
Okay, so let's unpack this then.
Right, so today we'll dig into what these VR systems actually are, look at the benefits driving companies to adopt them, examine some real-world results, which are quite impressive, and importantly, talk about the challenges too.
Yeah.
It's not all perfect.
Good. So yeah, let's peel back the layers. What is this tech? When we say VR truck driver training, we're not talking about just some fancy video game, are we?
No, not at all. That's a really good distinction to make up front. This is sophisticated stuff. High-fidelity simulation. Think beyond the kind of VR you might have at home. For commercial training, we're often talking about a full cockpit setup. It looks and feels like a real truck cabin.
With the actual controls.
Exactly. Real steering wheels, pedals, gear shifts, the works. And they have advanced haptic feedback.
Haptics, meaning?
Meaning you feel it. You feel the resistance in the wheel, the vibrations from the road, the subtle feedback when you shift gears or brake. It mimics driving a heavy vehicle physically.
Wow.
Then there's the visual side. High-resolution VR headsets, or sometimes these big multi-screen displays that give you a really wide, realistic view. Peripheral vision is critical in a truck.
Makes sense.
And powering all this is a complex physics engine. It models how the truck behaves, how the load shifts, tire grip on different surfaces, how weather affects things.
So it's not just seeing and hearing, it's feeling, like
Yeah.
muscle memory.
Precisely. It's about simulating the visual, the auditory, and the kinesthetic feedback, that sense of body position and movement. That's absolutely essential for building the muscle memory and the split-second reactions you need when you're handling something that big.
That is a huge step up. So with that kind of realism, what sort of scenarios can these things recreate? Stuff that would be just too dangerous or maybe too expensive to practice otherwise.
Right, exactly. And this is where it gets really powerful. The ability to fail safely is key.
Fail safely.
Yeah. Drivers can practice driving in truly awful weather, dense fog, heavy rain, blinding snow, even hitting black ice with absolutely zero risk to themselves or anyone else.
Wow. Things you hope you never encounter, but need to be ready for.
Absolutely. Or think about precision maneuvers. Backing into a super tight loading dock, maybe between two other trailers, they can practice that again and again and again, honing those fine motor skills until it's perfect.
Without scratching a real trailer.
Exactly, no damage costs. And maybe even more critical, they can train for sudden high-stress emergencies. A tire blowout on the highway,
Oh, yeah.
or needing to swerve suddenly to avoid a car cutting them off, dealing with chaotic city traffic where one wrong move,
Catastrophic.
The beauty is the repetition. You mess up, okay, run it again, immediately. Until the correct response is just automatic, you internalize it without the real-world danger hanging over you.
Moving from thinking about every step to just doing it right.
That's the goal, shifting from conscious effort to unconscious competence, where the right reactions become intuitive.
And I have to imagine that ability to make mistakes, learn, retry, all in a safe zone, that must do wonders for a new driver's confidence before they climb into an actual rig.
It absolutely does. That repeated safe exposure makes a massive difference to confidence, but it's more than just feeling good.
Right.
It allows them to really embed complex actions and decision-making patterns when the stakes are low. So when they do get into a real truck,
Their brain isn't overloaded.
exactly, their cognitive load is lower. They're not struggling with the basic controls or how to react instantly. That frees up mental bandwidth to focus on the bigger picture, situational awareness, spotting hazards further out, complex traffic negotiation.
That shift sounds incredibly valuable. Competent confidence, maybe?
Competent confidence, I like that. Yes, it's confidence built on actual practiced skill.
Okay, so this kind of thorough, safe training, it's obviously great for the driver, but it also sounds like a really strong business case for the trucking companies, the fleets.
Oh, definitely.
So let's dig into that. What are the big benefits driving companies to invest, sometimes heavily, in VR training?
Well, the benefits really stack up, giving them a major operational edge. First, as we've kind of been saying, is the safe learning environment.
Right. Fewer bumps and scrapes during training.
Fewer. Try eliminating training-related accidents. No crashes during practice means no injuries, no insurance claims, no trucks out of service for repairs. That's a huge win financially and, more importantly, for safety.
Okay, safety first. Makes sense. But beyond safety, I'm guessing efficiency is a big part of this too. Does VR actually speed up the learning curve?
It does, and that's the second major benefit. Faster and more effective skill acquisition.
How so?
Think about it. With VR, you can practice difficult things whenever you want. Heavy snowstorm, busy city driving, tricky backing maneuver. It's available on demand.
You don't have to wait for actual snow or find a busy intersection.
Exactly. You get focused, deliberate practice on the tough stuff over and over with immediate feedback. This massively cuts down the time it takes for a new driver to get proficient. Things they might only encounter once or twice in weeks of real driving, they can practice dozens of times in one VR session.
So faster learning, fewer accidents. That's got to translate into cost savings.
Yeah.
That's always a bottom line driver for businesses.
Absolutely. Which brings us to benefit number 3, significant cost savings. And it comes from multiple angles.
Like what?
Well, obvious stuff first. Less fuel burn. You're not idling real trucks for hours of basic training. Minimal wear and tear on your actual fleet vehicles during the initial learning phase. That extends truck life, cuts maintenance costs.
Right.
Then the indirect savings pile up. Fewer accidents mean lower insurance premiums, potentially fewer legal headaches, less lost revenue from damaged goods or delayed deliveries.
And maybe even savings on instructors.
That too. You might need fewer instructors for the initial phases, and you don't have the travel costs of sending them out everywhere if training can be done on simulators at central hubs. You add up the cost of even one minor accident. These savings become very real very quickly.
Okay, the benefits are definitely adding up. Safety, speed, cost. What about the quality of the training itself? Does VR help ensure everyone gets, say, the same level of instruction?
Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, that's another key advantage. Standardizing high-quality training.
How does that work?
In traditional training, quality can vary a bit, right? Depends on the instructor, the location, the specific situations encountered that week.
Sure. Some trainers are better than others.
With VR, every single driver gets the exact same structured lessons. They all practice the same critical skills in identical controlled conditions. Consistency.
And you mentioned data.
Yes. The simulators track everything. Every steering input, braking pressure, acceleration, reaction time, loads of data.
So trainers can see exactly where someone is struggling.
Precisely. They get objective, detailed insights. This lets them give really targeted feedback, tailor the training to fix specific weaknesses. It helps build a much more consistently skilled workforce across the board.
That data-driven approach sounds like a game changer for training. Now, we talked about confidence earlier, but let's touch on that again. Driving an 18-wheeler must be pretty intimidating for rookies.
Oh, absolutely. And that's another benefit. It genuinely boosts confidence and reduces anxiety.
How so?
Look, these are massive, powerful machines. It can be scary. VR gives new recruits a safe space, psychologically safe, to just get comfortable. Learn the controls, get a feel for the truck size, see how it handles different situations, all without that fear of making a catastrophic mistake in the real world.
Like easing into the deep end instead of being thrown in.
Exactly. It's a kind of gradual desensitization. So when they do start driving for real, they feel much more prepared, less overwhelmed. That really helps with early performance and honestly probably helps keep them in the job too. Better retention.
Makes sense. And there was one more benefit you mentioned, maybe less obvious, something about the environment.
Yes, often overlooked, but important. VR training has a real environmental benefit.
How? Just by using less fuel.
Primarily, yes. By cutting down significantly on the hours real trucks need to be running just for basic training, you directly reduce fuel consumption and lower carbon emissions.
So it helps companies meet sustainability goals, too.
It does. It contributes to a greener footprint for the industry, which is increasingly important for regulations, for public image, you name it.
Okay, this really does sound like a well-rounded solution. But, theory is one thing, results are another.
True.
Let's talk about real-world proof. You mentioned a case study, Schneider National, big trucking company. What happened when they started using VR?
Right. The Schneider example is incredibly powerful evidence. They implemented VR training, and the results they reported were, well, pretty staggering.
Okay, like what?
Get this. After bringing in VR, their new drivers had a 75% reduction in accidents.
75%.
75% fewer accidents. That's not a small tweak. That's a massive improvement in safety outcomes. Fewer crashes, fewer injuries, less damage.
Wow. A 75% drop is just huge. What did that mean for their bottom line? Did they save money?
Did they ever? Schneider reported saving somewhere around $4.5 million in just 1 year.
$4.5 million.
Yep, directly linked to avoiding those accident costs, repairs, insurance, lost time, all of it.
It's incredible.
And beyond the money, they also saw what we've been talking about. New drivers learned faster, they felt more confident, it backed up all those qualitative benefits too.
So what's fascinating here, it's not just theory. The numbers show a clear return on investment.
Absolutely. That 75% reduction is dramatic proof of improved safety. And the multi-million-dollar savings make a rock-solid business case. It shows VR isn't just a nice-to-have, it can be truly transformational for training and safety.
Those are really compelling results. Hard to argue with that kind of impact. But, okay, let's bring it back to earth a bit. Like any big tech shift, it can't be all smooth sailing.
No, definitely not.
We need that balanced view. VR training sounds amazing, but it's not perfect, right? What are some of the hurdles or challenges companies face when they look at this?
That's a crucial point for a real deep dive. We have to look at the practical side too. And the first big challenge is usually the initial capital investment.
Yeah, I figured this stuff wouldn't be cheap.
No. High-quality VR simulators, the kind needed for serious commercial training, they cost a fair bit, especially with advanced haptics, custom cockpits. We could be talking tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars per unit.
Oof. That's a major expense, especially for smaller companies.
It is. It's a substantial upfront cost. So while Schneider's results are amazing, you need scale to really see that kind of ROI quickly. And it's not just the hardware. It's integrating it, software licenses, updates, maintenance. It adds up.
So how do companies justify that big initial spend? Is it just crunching the numbers on accident savings?
Often, that's the core justification, yes. The ROI from accident reduction, fuel savings, faster training. But there are softer benefits, too.
Right.
Like attracting better drivers because you're known for cutting-edge, safe training, building a reputation as a safety leader, maybe even getting better insurance rates down the line. It's strategic as well as financial.
Okay, that makes sense. Beyond the cost, though, simulation is still simulation.
Yeah.
What are its limits? I mean, eventually you have to drive a real truck on a real road, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the second key challenge. VR is not a full replacement for real-world driving. We need to be crystal clear on that.
It helps prepare you, but doesn't do the whole job.
Exactly. Simulators are fantastic for building those core skills, the muscle memory, in a safe space. But they can't perfectly replicate every single nuance.
Like what kind of things?
Well, the subtle feel of a really heavy shifting load. The truly unpredictable things other human drivers do, the exact sensation of different road surfaces through the tires, or how sudden real wind gusts affect the trailer, the fatigue of a long haul.
Yeah, things you only get out there.
Right. So VR is an incredibly powerful prep tool, a bridge to get drivers ready faster and safer, but they absolutely still need that supervised time on actual roads, integrating what they learned in the sim into the complex, messy real world. It enhances training. It doesn't eliminate the need for road time.
Gotcha. It optimizes the learning journey, doesn't replace it. And like any new tech, there's got to be a learning curve for people using it, right?
I do.
Both the drivers and the trainers.
For sure. That's our third challenge, the learning curve for both drivers and trainers. Well, you don't just plug it in and go. Drivers need to get used to the virtual environment. Some might initially feel a bit of motion sickness, though the tech is getting much better at minimizing that.
Okay.
But maybe more significantly, the trainers need to adapt. Their role changes. They're not just physically demonstrating things anymore. They need to learn how to interpret all that simulator data, analyze the performance metrics, lead effective debriefs based on virtual scenarios.
So the trainers need training too.
Exactly. It requires a different skill set, a shift in approach, and you might get some resistance from experienced instructors used to the old ways. So there's an investment needed in training the trainers effectively.
Right. And if we connect this back to the bigger picture, these kinds of challenges, cost, limitations, learning curves, they're pretty typical whenever a really disruptive technology comes along, aren't they?
They absolutely are. It's part
Okay.
of the process. The key is whether the long-term benefits and safety, efficiency, skill outweigh those initial hurdles. And in this case, the evidence suggests they really do. It's a journey of adoption, not flipping a switch.
That actually leads nicely into the bigger idea here, sort of the philosophy behind it all, this human-machine partnership.
Mm.
VR isn't here to replace truck drivers. That's not the goal. It's more like a super helper, a co-pilot.
That's exactly the right way to frame it. It's not automation taking over, it's intelligent augmentation.
Augmentation.
Meaning it enhances human capabilities.
Like you.
Think of it like a calculator helps with math or power tools make building easier. VR accelerates the learning of complex physical and mental skills.
So it frees up humans to do the things humans do best.
Precisely. It lets human trainers focus on higher-level coaching judgment, risk assessment, dealing with complex, unpredictable situations, customer interaction stuff the simulator can't teach as well.
And for the drivers.
For drivers, it builds that foundation of competence with the basics, so they have more mental energy to handle the really challenging, unexpected stuff on the road, the situations that demand human adaptability and critical thinking.
So it's about creating smarter, more prepared drivers by partnering them with these advanced tools.
Exactly. A safer, more efficient system overall, driven by humans who are better equipped thanks to technology.
Okay. So we've dug deep into the tech, the benefits, the real-world results, the challenges. It's time for the final verdict. Our core question: is VR training for truck drivers really worth the investment?
Based on everything we've seen, the evidence from companies using it, the potential, the answer is an emphatic yes.
A clear yes.
That's it.
Clear yes. So just to sum it up for everyone listening, for the trucking companies, why is it a yes?
It saves money, it drastically cuts accidents, it builds better drivers faster, and it helps standardize quality. It's a strategic win.
And for the individuals learning to drive these big rigs?
It gives them invaluable safe practice. It builds real skill and crucial confidence before they face the pressures of the real road. It makes a daunting job more accessible.
And for all of us who share the roads.
It means safer highways, more intelligently trained, prepared professionals in an industry that's absolutely vital to our economy. It's a win for public safety. This technology isn't just some gimmick. It looks like an essential tool for the future of trucking.
So maybe the simple way to think about it is, remember learning to ride a bike with training wheels?
Yeah.
VR training is kind of like those training wheels, but for driving a giant truck. It lets you learn without the big, scary falls. It's smart, it's safe, and it seems totally worth it.
That's a great analogy, and it makes you think.
Yeah.
It leads to a final thought for you, our listener. Considering how powerful VR is proving to be for trucking, for managing high-stakes risk and speeding up complex skills, what other industries out there where a mistake costs a huge amount? Think healthcare, maybe energy, complex manufacturing. What other fields are right on the edge of a similar revolution in training? All thanks to being able to practice safely in the virtual world.
That's a really interesting question to ponder. Where else can this virtual practice make a massive difference?
The possibilities and what it means for human skill and safety, they really are pretty vast.